Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the evolution of coils, the different style coils, and indications of you're having problems with coils. So I got Claudia with us today, and we're going to start with the old coilers, probably ones that you aren't going to see that often. But stick with us. And then I do.
My name is today I thought we'd talk about chainsaws.
Then if you want to come over here and just explain how that all works.
Alright, we'll start with the basics. Alright. Most of the time, the only thing you're going to find points in is the older coils. K-series, 301s, 302s. Briggs did run them years ago, but they haven't for years and years and years. On the coiler, you'll find the point set right here at the bottom, operated by the camshaft. As the cam turns, points flop up and down. They're located right there. They're pretty simple. You know, you have to go to the engine specs to find out what they set at. Usually it's 20. You'll find two sets of screws in them right here. Loosen the screws up, take a set of feeler gauges, make sure you roll your cam up on high so your points will be open, and then adjust them accordingly. Most of them are 20. Once you get that done, then make sure you got current going through your wires going to it. Don't have broken wire. Wire will come off here, go up to this style coil on the older coilers. The wire from the points goes to the negative side of the coil. Then you'll come off the negative or the positive side of the coil, and that goes to a 12-volt feed, whether it's an ignition switch, a toggle switch, whatever. Power comes from that switch, feeds positive on here, negative out here. You should have 12 volts going to this screw. And that eliminates that system. Once you get the power going to here, you can turn around, take a screwdriver or anything, and just flip these. See if you get a flash. You'll get a spark off this. If you get a spark off that, that's telling you that the points are doing their thing. And then you go up to your coil. Your wire off the coil here goes directly to the spark plug. And this is what the points look like. The condenser itself on the older ones is mounted on the outside of the engine. All the condenser does is increases the power that the points are putting out. Makes a hotter spark for the coil to operate. This is a basic set of points. A lot of them held on with 2 screws. This one's held on with 1 and a pin. They operate basically the same on any engine you've got. Once you get the point set, you have fire here. You run it into your coil. You know you got power coming from the coil down into here. Put your wire in. Either take a screwdriver, hold it against a metal surface. You can put one of these spark testers in, put it on the spark plug, flip the points. This should flash. If it does, then you know you got everything working going to the spark plug. That pretty much eliminates everything in that system other than you got a switch that's working and it isn't going in and out. And that's the basics on the coil system. The older Briggs, the points were actually under the flywheel. You really got to work on something old to find that style. What they would be is as you turn the engine around, you take the flywheel off. Once you pull the flywheel off, this here's a charging ring for the battery system. Down in here you'll find a cover. Usually it's 2 little screws holding on. You take it out, your points are in there. There's actually an eccentric built right on the crankshaft, which you points right on. Do the same thing. You adjust them to the 20. Make sure you got fire going to them. These are a little harder to do because you have to put everything back together before you can fire it up.
Alright, so we're going from the evolution of points and condensers to solid state. In solid state, basically you just have the coil, and then your flywheel, you have magnets on your flywheel, and as it goes around it sends an impulse through here to here, and you have a grounding wire that goes to your system. And one of the ways that Claude taught me to eliminate all your seat switches, your key switches, everything of being a problem is to unplug this wire. And a lot of times if you have a safety switch bad in the system, it will fire up and run. But if you plug it back in, you won't get any fire off from it. The other style is like this, except for they just have a plug-in and you can unplug that. So one of the things that we've ran into in the past is like on the V-twin Briggs, where one of these will start breaking down. And how do you know if they're breaking down? And what Claude does is he takes spark testers and he puts them on both. He fires it up, lets it warm up, and then when it starts to go into a fit, you start looking to see if one of these are fluttering or kicking in, kicking out. So you can have a bad coil going bad and the other one be good. So that's one thing. And then the other, maybe you can explain it, Claude. I know that as a coil gets hot, like there's a certain thing that we look at is if it's about the same amount of time and it quits and then you let it cool down, it'll start back up.
Yeah, because all the coils they're just the windings of copper wire. Usually they're inserted in plastic like wax. What happens is that coil will heat up, and when it does, it expands and causes it to make and break contact because it contacts in here on this metal. As the magnet goes by here, this is grounded, so it causes a impulse from when the magnet goes by here to the ground. Once this coil expands, it breaks contact in here. The issue you have is if you park it, 20 minutes later you come out, starts runs like a dream, this has cooled down and made contact again. All it is wrapped around these metal ears, and as it swells up it'll break, lose contact, and cools down, it goes back to making contact. And that's basically all a coil is just a coil of wire.
And the other thing that we've seen too, that on a typical flywheel on an engine, you have keyways. And if the keyway gets bent or sheared, then it's not going to provide the spark where it needs to be at that precision time to come around and hit. So you're not going to get a good, what do you call it?
Well, what it is, when the keyway breaks on the flywheel, the keyway, there's one right there, it just sits right in here. These older engines, most of them are steel. Newer engines, they're aluminum. They're made to break so you don't screw up your engine. That's how it's timed.
Mm-hmm.
Once you break that keyway, it throws it out of time. So you're getting good spark up here. You're just not getting into at the right time for the engine to run.
Right.
Because it has to spark when the piston is almost top dead center. That way the fuel is in there, the compression is there, and then you get your spark. Once that breaks, you're changing the dimensions of that, so it's either sparking before the fuel gets there or after the fuel is already there.
Right, because you want it to be at the top
Yeah.
and the air fuel mixture so that it hits at the right time
Yeah.
to start the cycle all over again.
And usually if you get that, they'll pop, they'll kick back, they're nasty.
Can you think of anything else, Claude, that you've had encounters with coils that maybe everybody else, that you guys that are doing it at home for your own stuff, and the guys that are doing part-time, or even the guys with the shops, you know,
No.
just exchanging information?
The biggest thing I've found so far is if you've got one that's, especially on the older ones, if they've set for a long time, they'll draw moisture and they'll lose contact through here. Take them off, you got 2 screws, take them off, sandpaper them down, sandpaper the mounting brackets, put them back on, redo your gap, and the gap,
Depends on the engine, you
Depends
got
on the
feeler
engine,
gauges you
and
use.
the gap is between the magnet in here, not the flywheel in here. You roll your magnet around, so your magnet's right there, and that's where you get your measurements. If you do it where on the opposite side from the magnet, this will hit the magnet and mess up your coil and your flywheel.
Good to know.
So you always do this with the magnet against the coil.
So hopefully this has kind of helped you today on a little more explanation of how a coil works and it can even be gapping your spark plug. You know, you have to have the proper gap. The idea is that when it comes through, the impulse comes here, your nose sticking out is grounded and it's going like that and it's firing to it. So if it's too far of a gap, you're not going to get a good fire. And if it's too close, you're not going to get a good fire. And most of the ones, if you check with the manuals, you can find that stuff online, to gap the spark plug as the manufacturer asks. About it?
That's about it, other than the only thing is when you're putting the spark plug in, make sure that you don't get it full of dirt, grease, or hit that and bend it while you're going in.
Okay.
Other than that, you're good to go.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next video. That's